Tunisia. Live. Be informed, be involved.
Cyril Grislain Karray, welcome to TunisiaLive.net.
Thank you.
We were so excited. Some of the people were crying, some of the people were blown away by your presentation. You talked about very sensitive issues for Tunisians. You talked about unemployment. You brought the figure of 2 million people who are going to be unemployed. And you gave some recipes on how we could tackle this issue. Mm-hmm. Can you talk to us a little bit more about those?
About the recipes. So I wrote this book called La Prochaine Guerre en Tunisie, where I give a wide spectrum of recipes. Fundamentally, I have 5 big battles I want to win. The first battle is about shifting the kind of economy we're in. I think we need to move to an economy with much more services, much more oriented towards export services. We need to have an economy that restructures the size of our companies. Our companies are just too small. They are unable to grow. They're unable to invest in tangible growth, invest in intangible growth. They're unable to hire people. We also need to make sure that agriculture becomes the agriculture of the 22nd century, and we are too much into trying to catch back our delays in agriculture. We should do a leap in agriculture to actually be a leader in a new kind of agroecology approach to agriculture, and a number of other things like that for sectors.
But in the same time, you are talking about a small country that has a hard time communicating with the West. Strong, tough visa policies, the young people are not able to get the international experience they want. The young people themselves are a product of a very weak educational system, although they are graduated. Do you feel that the challenges are not maybe too big for us to succeed?
Look, I'm going to tell you a story. In 1956, when we had our independence, you could compare Tunisia to South Korea. We were kind of the same size, same population, same level of uneducated people, same level of agriculture, both countries in a very tough spot. And look at where is South Korea today and where we are today. Okay, South Korea is a part of the G20. They have created LG, Samsung, etc. I think we have missed the opportunity in the last 50 years to make our country a big country, despite being small in size. And small, they say, is beautiful. So if you look at South Korea, Singapore, Qatar, Estonia, a number of countries like that, it's not because our size is small. It's our ambition that needs to be big. It's our way to present ourselves. It's our way to dream about the future. We need to think big. We need to dream big. We need to act big and not to be afraid.
You talked also about the issue of women. Women in Tunisia, the women's situation in Tunisia, in the perspective of a lot of people, is going backwards. Maybe because the West is not interested anymore to export its model to Tunisia. Maybe because the Arab countries gained so much influence that we're seeing more and more conservative Islam being present in the streets. Women was basically the joker of Tunisia in the 60s and 70s. We managed to have a lot of success. How do you think we can bring that era back?
Right. So, you know, Gandhi said, be yourself the change you want to see in the world. So I'm not very much into the theories of it's because of them and it's because of the others. I think it's because of ourselves. We have been complacent in reducing the role and the empowerment of women in Tunisia. And we need to break that again back. One of the reasons that we have compared ourselves too much to the countries with lower standards for women than ourselves, and being very happy to have higher standards than the lower standards. But we need to shift our mind also on this matter. We need now to think about and compare ourselves to the countries that have the top standards on women and the best ways to compare to them. And then we need to bring our women to that standard and not just stay happy because we're better than the worst.
We're seeing that most of the solutions you're offering are business-oriented. You don't seem to be very excited about one way to do politics versus another. Why are you preventing yourself from talking politics?
No, actually, in my book, the fifth battle is purely about politics. It's more specifically the part of politics that is interesting, which is how we organize institutions, how we create leadership, and how we empower people to develop themselves. That's the interesting part of politics. The non-interesting part is how people get elected and how do you fight on elections and seats, etc. And actually, I defend a number of things about that. I think we should reduce the number of states we have. We have 24 states, should be only 6 states. I think we should have a presidential regime looking like the Brazilian presidential regime. I think we should lower the average age of people who rule the country. We should make sure that women represent half of the jobs of power in the country. I think we should make sure that we completely transform justice, the army and the police. I mean, I talk about all of these things and they are fundamentally political. But I guide all of these things as a mean to an end. We are today inverting the machine. Politics has been an end, but the end is not that. The end is how do we bring back into society 2 million Tunisians, and how do we make 11 million Tunisians being back into the leader countries of this world and not just staying on the back seats. And politics should help that and not the other way around.
You talked in your talk also about French, and you said that Tunisians' level of French is not fantastic, especially among those who graduated from university. Don't you feel that France had really a role in bringing us to the decay we're in right now, and that our relationship with France and being our first commercial partner, being the language we use in business, prevented us from going to the global stage?
Nobody prevented us from anything than our own selves. Again, it's not because France or because it's the United States or because Arab countries. It's ourselves. There is a say which says it takes two to be offended. So even if they wanted and we didn't, then we could not run. Today, we need to cease to inspire ourselves from France. France is a big partner of Tunisia, will continue being. We have a long history together, and we should remain very friendly countries together and partners. But still, Tunisia now has to get started to have partnership, relationships, and develop itself with new countries. The countries that are winning the battle for growth and the countries that are winning the battle for developing society. And those are, Brazil, India, China, South America, South Africa, some countries of Western Europe, the United States, etc. France today has... We have inspired too much ourselves from France, and that has to stop a bit so that we reopen the possibility for the rest of the world.
Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciated your talk, and I invite everyone basically to check out your book, because I feel this is one of the very first books that basically brings some challenging ideas, but also very interesting solutions. Thank you so much.
And my Facebook is open to everybody.
Thank you so much. Available on tunisialive.net.